Hello everyone, welcome back. HeirofCarthage here. I say welcome back. You may have noticed that there was a little bit of time where I wasn't here. Probably like a couple of hours between when I last uploaded a video. I don't know. There's no way to tell. In any case, some of you probably were rejoicing. I mean, many of you are probably starting to throw up a little bit right now when you hear me, because you're like, dang it, I thought he was gone. Now he's back. Now the old man who screams at Romans to get off his lawn is back, and we have to listen to him again. Well, that's right, you do. Anyway, thank you everybody who is still even remotely concerned that I exist and make videos. I appreciate you. Sorry it was so long off. Honestly, I needed a little time off, and my computer crapped the bed, and I had to completely rebuild it and reinstall my operating system, all my software, all my recording settings, everything. I lost all my save game files for Warhammer 3 for some reason. I don't understand why. The Steam Cloud didn't work for some reason. I do have this one, so I guess it's a good thing that we had completed all of our Warhammer 3 campaigns at that point. But this one was saved in the Steam Cloud. I am going to move over here and get ready to crush our enemies. But yeah, I needed some time off. I just needed to kind of relax for a bit. Things were busy at work. I'm trying to spend a lot of time with my boys. They're, growing quickly. And so I just kind of spent some time that I may have spent recording, and usually they do watch me record, so that's not me just ignoring them anyway. But I spent some time playing some games with them. We've actually been playing ever since I got my computer working again, we've been playing the Age of Mythology Retold. Holy crap, that is fun. Like, that is real fun. So if you haven't played that and you liked the original, I would recommend that you try it. It's a fun one, and I would like to make some videos on it. Given the opportunity, I might try and find some folks on my Discord. If you are watching here and you would like to join me potentially in, Total War battles, or even the Age of Mythology stuff I was mentioning, you should join my Discord, because when and if I do get a chance to go organize that, that's where I would try and set it up. I will try and get a link into the description if you would like to join the Discord. Fun place to chat with folks. Nice crew there. You're not going to run into like trolls or jerks, anything else like that. I've got awesome moderators there, lots of good folks. So make sure and go check it out. Let's see. And by the way, when you do join the Discord, it's going to ask you for 6 credit card numbers, and it will take your life savings and transfer it to me so that I can build a large mansion on a paradisical island and lord it over. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, it's free to join the Discord, but I thought that'd be funny there if I threw in a little bit of nonsense for everybody. Yeah, so no, I don't get any mansions, so don't worry. You're not contributing to Heir as a supervillain if you join his Discord. I'm gonna go ahead and attack straight up. This is probably not the best idea. I mean, I may regret this in a few moments. We'll see. I'm gonna double up my Iberians against their own Iberians. See if we can go for a quick charge. This general's bodyguard is massive and is gonna be massively dangerous. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. I might actually just go ahead and charge in here with my Iberians, cavalry. Or sorry, round shield cavalry. I called them Iberian cavalry. We are still somehow doing mostly terrible here. There we go. Busted through there. There's some Spanish mercenaries that I'm not going to be doing particularly well against. Scoot my general out. I'm taking everything I've got into their commander here. It still may not be enough. That bodyguard unit is going to be brutally powerful. I'm a little bit surprised we haven't turned this fight. I'm going to attack this round shield cavalry from behind there, route it. That infantry unit's now going to route. I can now take this and plow over to the center. So I'm not doing this in a very efficient fashion, that's for darn sure. But I don't really know that I care at the moment. I just want to win. Was that the enemy king or just a huge bodyguard? I guess we'll find out momentarily. It does look like we're going to win. One of my Iberians was broken, fighting those Spanish mercenaries. Again, not really surprised. I'm gonna go after these skirmishers there. The enemy commander is dead. These skirmishers back here are going to get absolutely trounced by my bodyguard. It's a heavy cavalry unit. This is impressive. That bodyguard unit has... Okay, they're finally routed. I'm going to pull my 2 round shields out of there. There's an Iberian infantry chasing some of my routing units. Not the end of the world. Let's go over here and crush this regrouped round shield. That was a little dangerous because we do take a couple of losses usually on the charge. But we crushed that regrouping unit. We're going to get rid of those mercenaries, and the remainder of my Iberians can crush that Spanish mercenary. So we will defeat the Spaniards here after a pretty hard-fought battle. Now, what I could have done is taken my time, maneuvered around the inept AI, and turned them and made them face downhill, and then I could have charged them, and this would have been a much more efficient battle. I just didn't feel like waiting, so that's really all there is to that. Anyway, let's head back to the campaign map. Man, speaking of, I mentioned it earlier, Age of Mythology Retold is really fun. They did such a good job remaking it. I've been enjoying the crap out of it. Now, I did see that there was a controversy, and of course, you can't launch a game in this day and age without some type of controversy. Some of them made up by angry folks on the internet. Some of them legitimately bad controversies. We get a mix of all. I would say that it just kind of depends on the day. Like I said, on whether or not the controversy is legitimate. We've got some angry folks here. I'm gonna lower the tax rate in Cordoba so that we can stave off the rebellion there. I'm gonna have to remind myself where I'm at. So yeah, Age of Mythology, I think, had a DLC that was controversial, and it was like basically you paid like $6 to get some profile pictures that existed in the game when it released like 20 or 30 years ago. Honestly, if that's the worst that people have come up with so far, and I'm sure there's some bugs and stuff like that too, right? I'm not saying there isn't, but I mean, if that's the worst controversy, is there a reason why like can't disembark? This one says it can disembark. Okay. I guess we have less movement points on the Iberian infantry. Okay, whatever, that's kind of annoying. All right, I'm gonna have to disembark them on the next turn. Oh, we got a large Brudii army here. That's brutal. Ooh, the bad puns are back, folks. Anyway, yeah, Age of Mythology Retold is great. I'm hoping that it's like the other Age of Empires remakes that they've done, where they come back and add new DLC to the game that you used to love, that they have reworked, and like they'll patch it, they fix balance, they've added new difficulty features and like some reworked AI stuff to the game. And again, it's so neat to see that this old game that you love and know come back and improve on things. And in some ways, that is what we are playing here, right? This game is in some ways that. However, this game did not add any new DLC. It didn't add any free LC. It didn't fix the terrible AI. It didn't fix a lot of things. It just sits here. And it makes me sad. The Age of Empires and Age of Mythology remakes are so much better executed than this. Now, don't take me the wrong way. I love what they did to revamp the graphics. I love that the game was remade to work on a 64-bit operating system, which is the main thing it needed because it wasn't functioning for most people. So I get that that was probably the main goal of the developer when they remade it, but why do you spend the time to redevelop this and go through it all if not to make some more money on it, right? How many of you would buy a DLC for this game if they had made a fun one? I would have, hands down, immediately. Why? Because I love Rome Total War. This is a fun one. Now, let me ask you this question. How many of you have been super thrilled and delighted with Total War Pharaoh being the most recent release? Now, some of you are going to say, I am, Heir. I actually like that game. Well, you're going to be in the vast minority. And that game was not well received. It was honestly probably a tremendous waste of development time. And it's no longer going to be supported. Now, does that mean the game's terrible? I mean, it's probably a lot better since they released Dynasties. They probably improved a lot of things. But again, What did that do? Pretty much nothing. It didn't move the ball forward for Total War. If anything, it probably moved the ball backwards because enough fans got angry with the release, and it didn't go well. It wasn't well received. The player base fell off a cliff with that game. Basically, everybody quit playing it near immediately. So anyway, here's what I'm getting at. Think how cool it would have been, for instance, it looked like one of my units was routing. It looked like this unit was routing there for some reason. Anyway, let's imagine for a minute, if you will, that instead of spending their development time and hours on Total War Pharaoh, what if Creative Assembly had engaged maybe Feral, or, because Feral, I think, is the company they're using to do this work here. What if they would have engaged a developer to remake Medieval 2 and do it like the Age of Empires and Age of Mythologies releases? You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine getting, in this day and age, getting an updated Medieval 2 with new features, updated textures, new units, maybe even new campaigns, because I think they had a lot of campaigns in that particular game. Just imagine that for a minute. Like, how exciting would that be for the fan base? It would be extraordinarily exciting. And then think about it from CA's standpoint. How much good would that have done you to have that game out there to help, like, tide the people over who are waiting for a new historical title, and they get to pick up one of their beloved favorites that you have spent time reworking and making it amazing and releasing something that everybody resoundingly loves in the Total War community, and you've re-released it, you've added to it, you've made something that they relate to even better, even more fun. And now you've got the community rallying behind you, saying like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what they do next. This is so much fun. I can't believe I'm getting to spend hours playing a game that I used to play 20 years ago, but it's still fun today. And that is what they should have done, 100%. Why do I say that? Well, because I'm doing that right now with Age of Empires 3, with Age of Mythology. Many of you are playing Age of Empires 2 on there. They even did Age of Empires 1 remake. All of those things are there with Age of Empires, a game that people traditionally loved. It was one of the oldest strategy games around. I mean, a lot of us who grew up in my age group are very familiar with it, and they get to enjoy it again, all over again. Why don't you do that with Total War? Why didn't you do that when you did this? Why did you spend your time developing Total War Pharaoh? And if they are developing the next Three Kingdoms games, and this is going to make some of you mad, because I know some of you probably like that setting, but again, I'm not saying to never develop these other games like Pharaoh or Three Kingdoms, but I'm just saying, why would you be doing that now? You know what I mean? Why now? Why not spend your time on something that's going to just score you a win, and you know it's going to score you a win? Get people behind you, make some money, get people excited, generate some ideas, buy yourself some time to release the next big historical thing, or your next big fantasy title for that matter. Anyway, just my thoughts. I've gone through these thoughts a few times. I would love to hear from some of you in the comments. What do you think? Am I totally off base? Would you agree? How would you feel, for instance, if they released, like, I'll give you another good example. We heard from Feral Interactive the other day on Twitter that they were going to make an iOS and Android version of Empire Total War. Now, that might be an exciting announcement to some people. I don't know about you all, but I don't sit around playing Total War games on a phone or tablet because it would be very difficult to do and honestly kind of clunky. Now, does that mean they shouldn't do things like that? No, sure they could. But imagine again if instead of working to get out Empire Total War on iOS and Android, what if you had engaged the company in taking a game like Empire, which was a disaster at release, and it took a lot of work, and eventually they just released Napoleon because Empire was such a disaster. What if CA would have decided, again, let's engage them to rework this game and re-release it. We're going to update the graphics. We're going to update the UI. We're going to fix the bugs. We're going to fix the AI issues. We're going to re-release this game and make it new and fun, because that time period in history is very beloved, I think, by the Total War fan base. I think people would be thrilled to get something from that time period. They seem to very much enjoy it. And so again, very strange to me to see them deciding to kind of not really take up projects like that. And again, is it terrible to release something on iOS and Android? No, it's not. It's not terrible, but where's it moving the ball? Anyway, just hopefully some constructive criticism that I'm laying at the feet of Creative Assembly, because I like them as a company, because I like their games, because I am a decades-long fan of their games, and bias admitted here, I want them to succeed. I want Creative Assembly to succeed because I like Total War. That's it. That's the long and short of it. Anyway, there you go. A little bit of discussion. Stuff that's been on my mind while I was away, and honestly, even before I was away. I just can't help but find myself thinking sometimes, like, is the state of Total War right now a disaster? No, it's not. It's not. Could it be better? Yeah, I think it could. The launch of Pharaoh was a debacle. But, you know, what I'm saying ultimately, of course, is that I think there's room for CA to improve a lot of things here with the way that they release games, with the expectations that they set, and they could, I think, make viewers and fans a lot happier. All right, sorry, I'm back. I had to cut there to take a phone call. We got a Spanish Navy right out of Careless. Gonna auto-resolve that. We defeated them. Taking a little bit of a casualty, but the Roman Navy is up here. Oh, crap. I clicked it wrong. I misclicked there, and they're going to get away. That is frustrating. There's a Scipii Navy here, too. The more we fight with these navies, they'll level up and become more capable. And then hopefully we can put them to use. Carthage here, I was getting another army put together. We need to take the fight to the Numidians. They've got Demeti, and there's going to be a settlement out here at Cirta. If we leave Carthage to go after their settlements, we are going to have some kind of army left to protect our settlements. I am going to kind of start taking the fight. That way we can see that we have commander there. I'm working on getting more troops trained in Carthage as well. I may have to double back with that commander. We'll see. I've got this commander here at Thapsus, and Carthage is going to have pretty decent defenses in the form of their walls there. I'm going to go ahead and turn the tax back up at Cordoba so we can collect a little more income. This turn, we need to take care of the Brudii. They have all fled back to Tarentum. And inside Tarentum, they still have those 2 units of Principe, and they've got Vibius Brutus here, who is their faction leader. It's going to make this a difficult battle to win. So I'm going to lay in a siege and basically just get a bunch of ladders and a battering ram, and we'll go with a tower or so here, so we can get them ready. So we'll continue the siege, maintain siege. And in the meantime, we need to be, we're training more troops at Croton. We've got a commander here at the ages at Syracuse. Now, Syracuse is going to be one of the better defended spots on the island. We'll move him around as needed. I think this will be fine for now. A decent place to end our turn once we see if there's any buildings that we can commit to. We should have plenty that we can. We're actually running a little bit behind in terms of money, meaning I could use quite a bit more money each turn because there's more buildings for me to build than I can get to at the moment, which is kind of costing me a little bit of development woe here. And part of the reason why I'm not making as much as I would like to is because I'm having to maintain a large number of forces. That's pretty standard, run-of-the-mill for Carthage, if you will. Well, all right, we did get attacked by that Numidian commander there. We'll come up and challenge him. In the meantime, we are on the way to Demeti. I'm going to push this army back. We've got an opportunity here. They just have some skirmish cav and javelin men. We should be able to wipe them out. Let's go ahead and fight this one. All right, let's get ourselves deployed. There's not going to be a whole lot of... Oh, they went up the hill, of course. I should have known that. Should have deployed over here. I'm going to take my cavalry and just run these guys down. I mean, it's going to be that straightforward. So let me fast forward a second. I do want to be somewhat careful. It is possible that my commander could be killed by javelins, which would be most unpleasant. I'm going to take my Iberians in a fairly blocky formation and set a pursuit path. And then we're going to just straight up Leroy Jenkins the enemy front line here because they cannot hold up to a cavalry charge. I am going to use this rally to get my commander to kind of lag behind so that he doesn't die in a charge or a javelin volley. See that right there? You push that button, he'll kind of lag behind. It helps you assure the survival of your commander on a charge, or I mean to a degree, not entirely, but it lessens the chance of him dying. All right, so we wiped out their skirmishers, and now we just gotta chase their Jav Cav and catch it. There we go. All right, done and done. Very few losses, and we can continue on to Demeti. Once we take Demeti, we'll move down to Sirta, and then hopefully make our way west. Securing the Numidian threat will allow us to have more focus elsewhere. This is one of the challenges you get in any Carthage game. Not that I'm like hugely challenged here or something, but this is one of the challenges that a player will get in a Carthage campaign, which is that you're going to be fighting on many fronts at the same time. Many fronts. That is just the way that these things work. I look at this. Thapsus is still okay. We should probably train maybe like another town militia to help hold things there. We are down quite a lot on income at the moment because we're loading up some sieges. Ooh, we got so many commanders up here on Careless. We really need to... We need to spread some of these guys out. All right, so the Julii have Hestati, Velites, and their faction heir, Marcus Julius. Got to kill so many. That's my faction leader there, Hasdrubal. I think the other guy was probably an heir or just a very skilled general. Let's take care of the Julii here. All right, I'm gonna group up my infantry here. I'm gonna hardlock this. Give an AI attack order. Roll forward with my left flank cavalry. My right flank cavalry has already engaged the enemy. The Roman commander is headed our way. This is going to be a really tough fight. He's backed up by some equites as well. I'm going to bring my own commander out this direction. Yeah, that fight's going to be a little bit brutal. There we go. Crushed and driven. All right, the Julii are going to be utterly broken here. And I'm going to hunt them down. I do have a unit of Velites that has not routed. I'm going to give chase to it. Okay. Those Velites are going to be slaughtered. All right, that should do. Let's end our battle. Very, very solid victory there for us. It's a 100-to-1 kill ratio. All right, so the Julii were defeated and driven back into their ships. I'm now going to attack their ships. Let's auto-resolve that. We did not sink their ships, unfortunately. But I'm going to bring these guys back to retrain, replenish. We're going to drive the Numidians away at Carthage. Thinking about whether or not I should even hire... Well, I guess I'll hire some mercs because I don't really have very good troops, but I am very low on cash, and the only thing that's available is a single Libyan mercenary. I'm gonna see what happens if we auto-resolve this one. A little bit risky. I'm gonna quick save that. Okay. Went fine. Wasn't great, but it worked. And I need to take that army. Let's disband these mercenaries. Because we don't want to pay that upkeep. In fact, I'm going to go looking around for different mercenary units that we no longer need and disband them. That will save us a fairly considerable upkeep. I say that we no longer need. I'm okay with like these ones for now. Those Sam Knights are kind of critical in helping us. These Balearic Slinger mercenaries very valuable too, so I'm probably not going to kick those out right away. And the Spaniards just keep coming at me, and what I really have to have is I just need a strong enough defense at Cordoba to hold back some small attacks while I go start taking some of their towns. The problem is, like, we're going to be surrounded by a lot of stuff now. I could split my army potentially. Having another one of these commanders actually potentially come over, that could be a help as well, and something I'm certainly willing to consider. We're still going to maintain the siege there. Marriage celebrations, found an Numidian agent. Worthy life ends. This is our diplomat. Okay, this is our diplomat that was trying to head to Britannia, but he died along the way. I mean, it is a long journey by foot. One can't exactly blame him for dying along the way. Let's see, I'm going to head... Let's head up here and see if we can make contact with like Armenia and Parthia and some of these other factions. So we head on out, and then we're making our way into Egypt, hopefully for some trading. We've run into an enemy agent here.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Should be good. We're very little money. Very little money. Queue up a temple, and let's go ahead and hit our turn in. Hopefully we'll gain a little more money on this turn in. I think with the siege of Carthage, it cost us a fair bit of income. Looks like the Scipii are sieging Croton. That's frustrating. Boy, they just keep drawing my attention away from Tarentum. And it's something that we need to stop. Let's see. Perhaps I can. We have a couple of Iberians here. I could take these Iberians. I could move here. Then I could take this commander, put them in charge of those two Iberians. We could get on the ships, cross over. Let's remind myself, I don't have a great garrison here, but I have a garrison. We're not going to be able to hold up against all those bodyguards and equites very well. But I don't want to give up this siege very well. Let's see what the auto-resolve looks like here. What happens if we assault? Thinks the Romans have a good chance because they have a 101-man bodyguard unit there. All right, decisions. Do I withdraw? Which I think I will. I'm going to go ahead and withdraw. I'll come back. So I'm going to withdraw... Wait, I thought we... Oh, lift siege. There it is. I withdrew from that battle. Why? I lifted the siege. Why can't I move? Okay. Lift the siege. I don't understand. Everything I do just continues the siege. Lift siege means continue siege. Alright. What happens, Fatarazad? The town battles take forever. I don't really want to fight this. Of course we get defeated. That's why we quick saved that one, and then they retreated back to Timbuktu. All right, hold on. I gotta load this quick save real quick. I guess I'm just gonna have to fight this one. It's really quite frustrating. I would rather go back and just save Croton at the moment, but apparently the AI is convinced that I'm going to lose this. I mean, the Principe are tough. They really are, and this bodyguard is also tough, but they're gonna get outweighed by numbers. So let's fight the... All right, the battle has started. There was a hole in the walls. I'm using that hole to get my troops into the city. Their Principe was defending near the hole, and they've got more that were on the walls that are headed this direction. I'm gonna have to just kind of YOLO in here. I was hoping to capture that tower so it wouldn't shoot my guys as much, but we're in a bit of a pickle here, so I'm just gonna have to YOLO. This Principe is fighting very valiantly. It is losing, but not surprised. The valiant nature of its fight there. We are getting hammered by that tower. And I'm trying to cram through here and attack this other unit. This Principe has steadied itself and not routed yet. Really frustrating, but again, it is a well-armored, it is a tough unit. I'm hoping, again, that we can just maybe overwhelm by numbers. But there's a possibility that that backfires. I just cannot seem to get any kills. There we go. Starting to see that number drop, but that tower is just machine gunning me to death at the moment. And remember, we still got to fight our way through a 101-man bodyguard unit. Okay, we finally broke the Principe. Hurry and get to the tower, please. We've got to silence that tower. It is eating us up right now. And we can get to the town center from here as well. Come on, get up there. Get in there. Oh gosh, don't get in formation, dude. Just go. All right, there we go. So we have silenced the tower. We now just have to crush. This is actually kind of helpful to me because the Principe fought and was defeated all right here. Without being able to fight to the death. They kind of are fighting to death because they're pushed back up against a wall, but it means that they should be relatively ineffective. All smashed up like this. I'm gonna move my commander up here. The enemy bodyguard is coming at me. I'm gonna try and throw my Sam Knights at them. I think they have a bonus versus cavalry. Yes, they do. They may not do amazing against such a large bodyguard, but they're better than the Iberians probably would be. And the bodyguard is starting to lose entities. The Roman infantry that was pinned against the wall is dying, and now our tower is actually attacking that Roman bodyguard quite effectively. I kind of want my long shield, or round shields. There we go. That is good news for us. Let's just hammer this bodyguard unit while it's weak and wavering. There it goes, it's routed. And let's chase it back to the town center. With the Principe destroyed, that really just leaves a war dog unit back here. I've got units kind of making their way different directions. Okay, the bodyguard unit actually routed towards us and completely died. That is very fortuitous for us. I'm gonna try and take all my units down this street. Or it didn't completely die, it nearly completely died. Right, well, this battle wasn't that bad. The auto-resolve was definitely giving us some hardcore cheat. That's to be expected. Again, though, the auto-resolve is something that CA could have chosen to address when they remade this game, and they decided not to. Which is, again, very disappointing. That you take the time to remake these games and don't address some of those things that would hugely improve the player experience and give, you know, a good PR. All right, there we go. We took a ton of casualties. I expected as much. I did not think this battle was going to turn out low on casualties. But that said, it was definitely a success. Tarentum is going to be in our grasp. I'm going to exterminate the populace. That'll help us get this thing built up a little better. And when I take a look here as to the first buildings to put into place, we're going to put a shrine to Baal. We're going to retrain our troops, which we can retrain them here. We can also get Libyan spears, which we should get one or two of them for helping to take down enemy bodyguards. That would be very helpful on our part. So there we go. We're going to be able to retrain. That means that the Romans are, well, I was going to say they're going to be in pretty serious danger. If Amulius Brutus, whatever his name is here, decides to siege Tarentum on this turn, he could actually put me in a pretty bad spot here. Now, I think we could fight our way out of it based on what I'm seeing here, but that could be an interesting spot that he could put us in. Anyway, we will be bringing reinforcements shortly enough. The Romans are blockading Carthage's port. This is going to cost us a lot of money, so I'm going to do something about that. You see that sends my income up. I'm going to see whether we can retrain these ships. They are pretty beat up. There we go. Let's garrison these guys at Carthage. Retrain those Iberians, grab another one. We just need small defense force for Carthage. And at Sirta, we can begin the assault. I'm hoping we can auto-resolve this one. Again, always do you save there and expect poor results, typically. This is their king, Syphax. It's a cool name. All right, let's auto. You gotta be kidding me. This is such garbage. Like, how did they win that? What universe? What universe is it? Like, did we enter the multiverse? What multiverse did we go to where Numidia wins with a single bodyguard and 2 desert infantry when they're like tripled up in numbers? Now, hey, don't get me wrong. You can win a lot in these settlement defense battles in Rome Total War if you have even the most basic of hoplite units. But you are not going to pull that off with desert infantry. Like that is just not happening. So permit me to demonstrate, shall we? Okay, here. Prepare to fast forward. I don't know, maybe Syphax's horses have lasers in their eyes. Like, you know, Archimedes-type death ray lasers. And maybe that's the same thing that he's mounted on the walls. And so maybe there's a good reason why the auto-resolve had us lose. Like, perhaps Demeti is just simply a Numidian stronghold of such epic historic proportions. And me being rather dumb and unlearned, I just didn't know, right? And so the game perhaps took all that into account. And that is why we lost. Syphax was probably a lot like Cyclops from the X-Men. You know, so he had laser eyes. His horses have laser eyes. I mean, it makes sense when you stop to think about it. And like this dome here, that's probably the professor, right? I don't know. I don't really watch X-Men movie. Maybe he's back here. But they probably have the professor, you know, doing a mental examination of all of us while we're ready to attack, getting into our head. And no doubt Magneto will soon come as well and join in with reinforcements. That's probably what it was. I mean, just gonna venture a guess there. I'm gonna say mutants were the cause of our auto-resolve defeat. Okay, we broke the gates. We're working on breaking the walls. Let's bring up an additional unit here. Good. All right, we get it. We're through the walls. I hear you, angry guy. All right, you all come in. You come in. You come in. You come in. You two attack. And let's roll up. Maybe that way. All right, the attack has begun. Now, let's see how well these pajama men stand up to... Or did I say Eastern Infantry? I meant Desert Infantry. Same thing, though. I mean, a small wicker shield and pajamas just not going to afford you much in combat. And yeah, we're going to see this played out here. Wow. Yep, tough guys there. So far, absolutely correct. The auto-resolve has not missed a beat. I mean, we are clearly losing the battle. Does my dripping sarcasm sometimes get too much, or are you all okay with it here? There we go. All right, so the Eastern Infantry completely destroyed and only caused me 7 casualties. So again, pretty accurate on the part of the auto-resolve. And I'm gonna make my way down the streets here. I'm gonna have to fast forward a second. We gotta be careful with Syphax, because like I said, probably laser horses, laser eyes, all the things. He is a bodyguard unit, though. All kidding aside, I expect a very difficult fight out of that bodyguard unit. All right, I'm getting my troops wheeled into position as quickly as I can. The desert infantry is charging. I'm going to countercharge it from both directions. Here comes the king. All right. They will fight to the death on the town center, so we will see a better performance out of those spears here. I'm going to take this other cavalry unit around and try and get in behind Syphax and crush his bodyguard in its entirety, and then we'll come back to crush the rest of that desert infantry, which, again, this time is putting up a much better fight because it will fight to the death rather than routing. All right, Syphax is going to break here. I would imagine we will see the enemy king hit the dirt here at just about any moment. It's pretty impressive that that unit has not broken, despite this all-encompassing attack. There it goes. They will fight to the death. Yes. Enemy king is dead. Now going to run forward. Help my Iberians finish off this desert infantry, which has proven that if motivated to fight to the death, they can put up a pretty decent fight. Get my cavalry to kind of move to the side, and let's bring in the infantry to help finish this fight. Those desert infantry do have a bonus versus cav. I don't want to sling my cavalry into them while they're in a fight to the death type of mechanic. There we go. Yeah, pretty close. Again, I mean, within the margin of error. Defeat, victory. You tell me what you think. You tell me what you think. Oh dear. Oh dear, that auto-resolve. So Sirta now going to be exterminated and fall under our control as well. So more settlements, far more money that we're now making, which that will be tremendously helpful. I might add, we need said money. Speaking of, let's go in and put that money to work. We need a new building project in Carthage. We have many options. I'm going to actually build the bazaar. And then let's go to Thapsus. And let's see, let's build the shipwright. And let's go to Cordoba. And let's build a shipwright there. Let's build the market first. Go to Syracuse. Build a market as well. Careless, we can build nothing, though we are getting very close to the growth. In fact, I'm going to turn down the tax rate a little. That might produce us a little bit quicker growth rate there. Same thing at Lepsis. There's nothing for us to build. Croton is under siege. Thus, I cannot build anything at the moment. And Sirta, let's go ahead and build some sewers. And then let's get the land clearance set. And then ultimately we'll build temples and stuff as well. So finally dealing a blow to the Numidians. That feels good.
Can I be of service?
Definitely feels good. All right. I think we are now ready to end a turn. New merchant acquired. Oh, sweet. A new merchant, huh? Take a new merchant.
Without delay. Your honor.
Let's see. Those are all pretty poor. Again, pretty poor. Yeah, none of these missions seem all that good. I'm going to start sending him towards Egypt as well. Maybe we can drum up some better trade in Egypt. All right. Let's end our turn, shall we? Yes, we shall. Curious to see what the Brudii do. Their smarter move would be to come and siege me immediately in Tarentum. I kind of expect it. Yep. I believe that is going to be the case. There they go. That was the appropriate move for the Brudii, I believe. I'm not sure if they sieged, though. I don't think they did. If they did not siege us, then that means that my troops replenished, and it is going to be a Brudii beatdown outside of Tarentum. Ooh, Macedon might be a good one for us to try and get in contact with. see if we can get a trade route open. Ah, barbarian hordes have arrived at Cordoba. Gonna siege me, which will cost me some income. Fortunately, not too much. So we made good income on that turn in. We got many building projects assigned. I got a city expansion at Thapsus. That's good. Let's queue up. You always want these city expansions to come first. I'm going to queue that up. I'm going to sling it in front of that one in the queue, and then they can finish the ship right afterwards. Okay. Yeah, the Romans did not siege me at Tarentum, and I replenished basically all of my troops here except for a single Iberian. That was a major mistake. And then the Scipii lifted the siege at Croton, which is now better defended. I can now disembark my troops. Okay, I've got reinforcements then to back up Croton. 2 commanders now landed in Italy. And that means that our army here in Brutium can lay waste to the Brutii reinforcements. They brought a couple of hoplite units. You do have to be very careful of hoplites. They are extremely deadly in this game, and not just hoplites, but also Macedonian phalanx. Both of them they're a wood chipper when you attack them from the front. Anything short of like urban cohorts, and you're probably gonna die into the front of those phalanx units. And there's a very clear pecking order too with phalanx units. Now that pecking order can change depending on what kind of upgrades and other stuff you get for your phalanx units, height gradients, stuff like that. Okay, they're right in front of me. First I was like, did they deploy somewhere? Crazy. I'm gonna actually kind of scrunch up my Iberians a little bit with kind of some equite. I'm gonna get these spear units right behind my main line to potentially deal with the Brutii family member, because those bodyguards are brutal. Brutii or not, lame jokes or not. We're gonna have to outmaneuver the phalanx. So typically when you're gonna come up against a phalanx, I'll kind of show you all what it is I'm gonna do. My Iberians laid out here. These units that are facing off against phalanx units, I'm going to put them into a rather blocky formation to make them a little more maneuverable. When they're in a big long line, you know, they'll kind of have a more difficulty in maneuvering. So we've got our units set up here, and what I'm going to do is pressure the Romans away from the phalanx. I'm going to apply pressure opposite the phalanx. Try and draw their attention. And then as the phalanxes approach me, the AI will approach me with their spears down, ready to commence a phalanx battle. And I'm going to ignore their spears. And again, continue to apply pressure elsewhere. I'm actually going to charge that equite unit. Let's head in here. Let's head up a little bit here. See, the phalanx unit is now maneuvering. Okay, we've got a charging bodyguard potentially over here to watch out for. Okay, the Romans' right flank is crumbling. We can go engage the bodyguard. See how I'm going to ignore the phalanx where possible. So see, the phalanxes are moving towards my units that are attacking the enemy commander. The commander is dying rapidly, though I am taking some punishment in the process. Now they're going for my cavalry. It's fine. Again, we're just going to ignore the phalanx, the front of that phalanx, everywhere that we get the opportunity. Now I can't ignore it, unfortunately. It's got me from behind. I'm going to have to flee back here. We're going to flee away from that phalanx unit. And there is an opportunity here. Re-attack. So again, we're going to just drop back. We can outmaneuver the hoplites. It's going to be the key here. This Roman ball here has lasted an incredibly long time. To a pretty frustrating degree, in fact. I'm going to pull our commander out of here. There's a phalanx unit turned our direction. There we go. Okay, Roman leader's dead. I'm gonna take my 2 Samnite mercenaries, and we're gonna attack that phalanx. We're gonna split this one by maneuvering to both sides of it. All right, so see, now that we've split the phalanx, we're gonna completely collapse in behind it. This other one has now routed, and this one will soon as well. Once you get the phalanx turned, you attack it from behind. Again, ignore the front. Don't touch the pokey part. It's like handling like something spiny. Don't touch the spines. Okay, we're gonna continue to assault this phalanx from behind. All right, if it turns, then we attack it from the other side. It did not turn, though. So I'm going to attack it with a second unit from behind. The armor on the hoplites will sometimes help them last a little longer, even to this rear charge. So be a little patient. There we go. And then crush. So just ignore it if you want to minimize casualties. Pay no heed. All right, Bomilcar gains another great victory against the Romans. He is so far leading quite the assault here. Feeling quite good about our position. I am going to end the episode here. I think we've done a good job. We have made inroads. We've captured Tarentum. We've captured Demeti. We are still kind of holed up over here in Spain, but we will take care of that on the next episode. So hope you all enjoyed this one. Heir of Carthage, glad to be back, and signing out for now. I will see you all soon with some more action in Rome Total War Remastered.